Good morning, everybody. I'm going to try and just articulate this as quickly and as precise as I can, because it had such a profound impact on me last night. So those of you that know, I often have like spiritual visions or out-of-body experiences or shown things that I feel is my job then to share with others, shall we say. And last night I was having a bit of a moment. It started with me feeling complete overwhelm and articulating how I felt under pressure from the universe, God, because I've been shown a particular path that I have to follow that's been in my book of visions for a good 25 years or so, and I can feel my life is heading in that direction. I'm already on the path. I'm already doing a lot of what I foresaw in these visions, but I felt tremendous pressure, and I was literally arguing with the higher source, God, saying, you got the wrong girl. Like, I can't do this. I don't know why you think I'm the person that's going to be able to do this. I'm weak. I don't have that confidence. And I was just having a bit of a Debbie Downer moment and bartering, I guess, with the universe, saying, I can't do this. I know that it's planned and it feels like there's tremendous pressure for me to do it. Anyway, my partner was cute and was like, you never know what you're capable of until you do it. And I'm sure you're just having a moment. Like, you've been in places where you felt like you couldn't do things before, and here you are doing them. And then we went to bed, and I had this profound dream/experience, which at the time didn't seem relevant to the beginning part of what I've just spoken about. But essentially, in this experience, and this has happened now a couple of times in the last few weeks, I have met in my dreams or my visions with people that in my real-time reality cause a lot of drama, a lot of pain. They've inflicted suffering. They have gone out of their way to make things difficult as hell and hurt not only me, but members of our family. And one of those individuals I met in a dream a few nights ago, and I didn't meet with them as they are, as they exist in this now moment, in this reality. I met their highest self, and they looked very different. Anyway, I don't need to but I knew there was something different about them, and then I clicked, oh, this is not them now. This is their highest self. This is the part of them, their soul. I was meeting their soul. And there was this wisdom that came with meeting with their soul. So I was meeting them at a level where there was no animosity. There was no earthly trauma that was in the way of our ability to communicate. It was just direct, pure conversation, and wisdom was flowing between the two of us. And this individual that has made life very difficult was explaining to me that their higher self was explaining and pointing to their real-time version. That person is never going to give you what you think you need from them. They might never have the capacity to say, I'm sorry. They might never have the capacity to comprehend that their actions have caused this much pain. However, that cannot stop you and hinder you on your own path. So you need to kind of like understand that on a higher realm, on a higher level, we are all one. We are all capable of being good to each other. There is only love in this higher frequency, and soul on soul makes sense. But when someone is damaged by identifying with the stories and the pain and the suffering that they've experienced, they in turn are manipulated to then become a lower version of themselves, or a less capable version, that they're less capable of being their free soul that has wisdom and capacity to love and to see clearly. Their vision is blinded, and they're cut off from the understanding of who they are at this higher realm, which we're all in and out of that. And there's moments where we have epiphanies. I think that's when we break through and we see from the higher perspective. Anyway, so I had this conversation with this person, and my mind was blown with what they showed me, and that I had to adjust my lens as a human version of me to be able to move forward in my spiritual path, my soul path. I had to let go of certain things, and I had to accept that I didn't need the words from them. I needed to know it for myself in order to move forwards. And so there was this whole healing process in this conversation that took place. Last night, again, the same thing happened, but with a different individual. And I was face to face with this individual who has also caused a lot of pain and suffering purposefully and continuously. And yet I sat with them and I was weeping, utterly weeping. It's going to set me off, because I was looking at them through the higher perspective of my soul, or the God version of me. And I could see the pain and I could see the suffering. But I know I have that capacity a lot for people, but this was just, I can't describe it. I became forgiveness. I became forgiveness. I didn't have to say the words, I forgive you. I just was forgiveness. But forgiveness was love. So what I was essentially doing was loving this person in their weakness, and in all of it looked like they were just tormented inside. And that was why they will behave the way that they've behaved and continue to behave. And yet I had this profound compassion for them. And I just wept, and I was trying to tell them that one day it will all make sense, that one day they will realize why they went through the things that they went through, and one day they will be set free from the torment that they're in. That it was like they were chained, and I was almost offering my experience to that person. Words don't really comprehend it, but I was wanting to set them free from this. And the way, as I forgave, or felt this forgiveness just overflowing out of me, I met myself. I suddenly saw that, let's say this person is classed as an enemy. God says, forgive your enemies, love your neighbours as yourself. And as I loved this person, who is the utterly opposite of the way that they behave and respond in this life, it was like meeting myself at a depth that I can't explain. It was deep down in my stomach, something in me was released. And in that moment, I heard the voice of Jesus or scripture saying, forgive your enemies. Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. And then I realized that I was modeling the experience of the way that we are taught to live, to forgive those that do wrong to us, and to love our neighbours as ourselves. And in doing this, part of me was dying. The part of me that was yes, but I need justification. Yes, but I need an apology. Yes, but. And in that moment, I realised that is the death, and that Jesus, in a sense, models the example of forgiving and dying to the ego, not, look what they've done to me. And in that, there was this resurrection in me of my true soul. And I was in heaven. Instantaneously, I was in heaven. And it was utter bliss. And I felt like I was home, and I wanted to cry. And God said, that is the way. That is the way. So I just Hope that makes sense to you today.